Alright, on to the lightning round. Viper, what is the longest running science program on PBS? Nova! That's right. In the 1968 film Planet of the Apes, what is the name of the lead female human played by Linda Harrison? Nova! That's also right. Now, for the $64,000 question. When Daria's Force was released in the United States, what was its new name? Sunshine Nova! I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Tonight, on the Commune Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Commune Podcast. This time we are starting discussion on Azure Striker Gunvolt. But before getting into the game at hand, I wanted to ask Adrian, how have you been doing?
I've been doing fine.
Alright. Wario Fan 63?
I've been doing fine as well.
Good to hear. Yourself?
I am one with the light.
Shouty?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Glad to hear. So Wario Fan 63, what games have you been playing?
Oh, I've still been working my way through Final Fantasy VII.
Okay, how far have you gotten, how many discs in are you?
I still haven't beaten disc 1, but according to local walkthroughs, I may be close.
Okay.
I'm expecting no major event will cause a change in the cast at all. So, I think everybody's gonna get through this thing alive.
Yeah, this isn't Phantasy Star 4 or something.
Looks like clear sailing from here on out.
Absolutely.
Do you think the experience curve in Final Fantasy VII is properly adjusted?
I'd say so. I mean, you're talking about, fighting weaker enemies as you level up or something?
Yeah. Are you generally ready for bosses?
I feel like I am, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think Final Fantasy VIII is the one with the hard experience curve, or at least according to local legends, but... The myths around town say that Final Fantasy VIII has a harder experience thing going on.
What town?
Huh?
What town is this?
Midgar.
Oh.
They have knowledge of the future.
Is that what Livestream does to you?
Yes.
Yourself? What have you been playing lately?
I played some Crimson Skies. I actually beat the entire game. That's a arcade-style flying game for Xbox.
What would you say is the interesting part of gameplay?
So, mostly with flying games, you get variation in your plane and enemy planes, and that's the extent of it. Otherwise, they tend to be objective-based gameplay. But Crimson Skies is interesting in that it has highly variable environments. Like, you interact with the architecture of the level, like flying through a city or a obstacle course tunnel or stuff like that. So, in some sense, it feels more like a racing game, a driving game or a platformer because of that.
Okay.
It's good. It's really good. Everyone should play it.
That's one of the Xbox originals, right?
Yeah, it is. You can get it on 360.
Okay. Are there any, bosses or anything?
There are a couple bosses that take the form of... Well, the game is heavily inspired by Star Wars. So, the boss battles tend to be your Death Star situation, where you have to shoot down a bunch of defenses, and then the boss's mouth will open up, then you gotta fly through a tunnel with a bunch of stuff in it to get to the weak point, and then take some shots at the weak point.
Okay. There were, Katina and Boss missions in Star Fox 64 were kinda like that, and I did enjoy those.
Yeah, it's that... I guess Katina is a decent comparison, although...
You don't have that corridor.
Right, yeah. It's more interesting than, or at least more fun than Katina, which I've never really liked.
Okay. Shouty, what have you been playing lately?
I've been trying out the Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS demo.
Oh.
You bastard.
I don't remember if I'm a platinum member or not. I guess I should check.
Well, if you got an email, or if you have your email settings set to accepting emails from Nintendo, then you might have it.
Oh, okay.
Have the demo code. But, I've been trying out against more higher level computer players to see how well I can adjust to the 3DS's control scheme and screen size, and I think I've been doing pretty well.
So one thing I wasn't sure about is how do you demo-wise Smash Brothers? Like, what makes it different from the full game?
Well, first of all, there's only versus mode, and even among that, you can only choose from 5 characters, and you can only play on one stage.
Okay. So do you think the 5 characters give you a good sense of how this new Smash will play?
I think so. The 5 characters, 3 of them are, like, veterans since the very first game, and 2 of them are newcomers that were revealed from the very beginning.
Okay.
I think it's just to build hype around it.
Are you sufficiently hyped?
Yeah, I'd say so.
You certainly sound it.
Oh yeah, by the way, did I get it right when I called Baby Bowser, Bowser Jr., that they ended up putting in one of the Koopa kids?
Well, do you want to know? Do you want to be spoiled?
Well, that's
You know what? No, I don't want to be spoiled.
I do.
Forget I asked.
Let him turn off his headphones. I want to hear.
No, I don't think.
Well,
I'm glad this being recorded.
I feel like now you're just saying there is one.
Who's Bowser
One what?
Jr.? I don't know that character.
He was introduced in Mario Kart as one of the most advanced drivers in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Oh, I think you're thinking of Baby Daisy.
Adrian, what have you been playing?
Kirby Mass Attack, Terranigma, and yesterday was playing Castlevania.
Alright.
That's it.
How is Mass Attack going?
I had to send the game back because I had a defective cartridge that wouldn't let me save past the first world, so that sucked.
Seems like something that would turn me off of a game.
It happened
Yeah.
to me.
I mean, I wanted to beat the game, but it wouldn't friggin' save.
I guess you're not supposed to beat it in one session. So one thing I never understood, like, is it a platformer?
No.
Is it like an RTS? What is it?
It's an action game. It's not an RTS, I can tell you that, but the main mechanic in that game is flicking. So a lot of it is just tossing Kirby's at the enemies and having them kind of be like ants and tear off the legs of other bigger bugs.
So it's like Pikmin.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Now, Elise, in this next segment, we're going to talk about how bosses worked as cohesive wholes. So, like, for each boss, we're going to talk about individual attacks and how fights progress and how the whole thing comes together as a statement of some theme. But before we get started, I can't remember what your special move is. Sorry, I didn't really catch that. Could you speak up? I'm sorry? Alright, chill out. For this time on Azure Striker Gunvolt, I wanted to spend some time getting to know each boss individually, because the bosses in this game are quite rich. So, WarioFan63, which boss did you want to talk about?
I am choosing one of the earlier bosses, Merrick.
Okay. Before I ask this next question, just for some background, each boss has 3 health bars, and once you deplete a health bar, they get some invincibility time, and then what they do changes up. So, Wario fan, for Merrick, how did his attacks change with each health bar?
He pulled out the punches, quite literally. He would do the wormhole thing, and then he'd use these super big punches. And those are just incredibly hard to avoid for me. I wasn't sure if you could avoid them, because they took up like the entire screen, just about.
What is the wormhole thing?
Oh, it's kind of a thing in the stage where Gunvolt would like be just doing his own thing and then suddenly be sucked into a wormhole and then do a little mini level and then wormhole back out to where he was before. And then the boss kind of does that with his attacks by opening up wormholes within the stage and just shooting bullets in there and opening up wormholes, and it's like 3 different wormholes. And instead of just pointing down at Gunvolt, he just aims straight at the wormhole in front of him and makes other wormholes do his thing for him.
He's playing with portals.
Yeah.
So, in the first health bar, how does he use those portals?
Just some basic, simple, easy to dodge missiles and a slightly easy to dodge arm grab, which is kind of a small, so not quite as threatening as what he does later. After you get rid of 1 health bar, then he gives you this big arm grab, a big giant arm, and it's like, oh no, how am I gonna beat this one?
So once you get to the second health bar, he starts taking up more of the screen with his attacks?
Right, yeah.
So, would you say that the giant fist was the hardest attack for your boss?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I thought it was even easier than his ultimate attack, actually.
Even harder?
The lazy laser.
Yeah.
Wait, the giant fist?
Yeah.
That's not that hard to dodge. You just run away.
Well, I did run away, and it pounded me.
You get behind. You can get behind it.
What do you mean you can get behind it? It's on the edge of the screen.
So, when you see...
It is from one edge to the other.
There's a little bit of space.
Because it's in front of Merak, so you just go under Merak.
I don't believe you.
Usually I would find the hard part of that attack being that he can use his fist twice, so if you dodge it by going to one edge of the screen, you have to move your shit along pretty quickly to get to the other side before that other fist comes out pretty quick. Because that second one, yeah, there's not as much wind up on the second one that there is for the first one.
That is an interesting point about that attack, that it has that back and forth rhythm that pushes you to the left and right edges of the screen that you do not see in his other attacks.
Yeah.
I think what my problem might have been is that I assumed I couldn't tell if when he was doing that if he was going to use the giant fist or the smaller fist. I wasn't sure if he gave that up after the first bar or not.
I think he mixes them together, but I don't know how, so I just dodge them the same way. I don't,
Well,
you can dodge the smaller one by jumping, but I never do that because I don't want to risk it.
Yeah.
doesn't he use each one 2 times in a row?
Yes,
Yep.
Anyway?
that is true. So you know what the second one will be, but I don't know if there's a way to predict the first one.
Just stand away from him at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's generally a good rule. The man is trying to kill you. So, Wario fan, what was the special attack for your boss?
Oh, that was the lazy laser.
And how did that work?
He'd open up multiple wormholes at the same time and just like progressively just keep covering up the screen with lasers. I kind of had an easier time dodging this one, actually.
So the gist of it is that he, just to make sure I understand what you're saying, that like he gradually zones out portions of the screen so that you're confined to a single space.
Yes, it's like quicks.
Yeah, it is. Why did you think it was easier to dodge?
I felt like it was telegraphed more. I don't know, like, I guess also because it was more vertical, usually.
Yes.
They're either verticals or diagonals, and that giant fist takes up all the horizontal space, and that's, where the ground is. That's where I need to stand on. Whereas the lasers, I can just, move around them.
You can't jump above the giant fist, so you have to run, and the fact that it covers so much of the screen means you have to run quite a ways. And so while you can't jump over a vertical laser, it's also thin enough that you can walk away pretty easily.
Right.
Okay. Was it ever hard to get a tag on Merrick?
I didn't think so.
Wario fan, what theme held your boss's attacks together?
The wormholes. I mean, he was generally a very stationary kind of guy, so he just used the wormholes to attack from his little corner there, and so I mean, Merrick himself was just not hard to dodge. He just relied on his attacks, which kind of goes along with his, sort of deal that he didn't really want to be there at all.
His attacks fit his personality. Pretty lazy.
And that sounds like it made his attacks hard to follow because he could just pop up stuff wherever he wanted on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, early on it wasn't so bad, but then, he's blending 5 attacks at once and or stringing them together, and it's just a mess. And
Messy laser.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel warmer having heard that. So, Shouty, what boss would you like to talk about?
I want to talk about Elise.
Okay, I can allow this. So, Shouty, how did your boss's attack patterns change with each health bar?
Well, first they do a basic attack where they throw kunais and little snake robots at you. But as you deplete their health, I think they start moving around the poles more intricately. Like, I think the more assertive twin will scold the more submissive one, and then she'll apologize, and one of them will start throwing kunais in a fan-like pattern, and then they'll start jumping over each other across the room. And by the time you get to the third part, they do this. Okay, I'm gonna answer the next question of which was the most difficult attack pattern, and the attack they do when they're on their last bar of health. It's impossible for me to dodge because it seems to be this completely hard to avoid beam attack that just holds you in place.
Man.
Oh,
Yeah, does anyone know how to dodge that?
I was going to ask you how to dodge it.
I know how to dodge it. I did not find that attack hard to dodge because I read the manual.
You just go behind them?
You just look away from the one looking at you.
Boy, that's so intuitive.
Don't they overlap at some point? Or is that only when you...
No.
No,
you just
they don't.
hold still. You just hold still. If one's on your left looking at you, you just look to your right. If one's on your right and it's looking at you, you just look to your left. And that's all you do. Just hold still, move
But
left,
then they
look
start
left.
moving up and down.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because there's only going to be one at the bottom
Oh,
at a time.
okay. So you just
They
have
can't-
to keep looking away.
Yep.
What do you mean you read the manual?
Boy, now I can get back to that.
It tells you in the manual that there are only 2 status effects in the entire game. One is being turned into stone, and another is like where you lose it immediately sends you into overheat.
Oh.
And this boss is the one that has the stone.
And it tells you in the manual to look away to avoid it?
I think it does, yeah.
Oh, man.
All I know is that unlike the other one, you can't just
So
shake.
specific, though. Why would they listen in the manual?
Yeah, that attack did get me the first time though, where it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And then I'm like, wait, stone. And then I'm thinking, like Gorgons, Medusas, you don't look at them directly in the eyes. And then I do that, and it's like, oh wait, this works.
I couldn't even tell it was stone, though. The graphics weren't not good enough to convey that.
Well, he turns
Or
gray.
the sound.
And when you...
So what's a gameplay cue that's what you're supposed to do?
I guess the eye.
Yeah, it does come from their eyes, and you can see it in that cone-like vision, or that cone-like.
When it catches you, there's that eye symbol that appears over you.
Yes.
I guess
That
that's
too.
the best scent there is, yeah.
But of course, that eye symbol, that means you're probably gonna fall for that the first time, which I did. But
I think you're probably going to fall for it a lot of times. There are a lot of threads on GameFAQs about how you dodge that attack.
wow, man. I did not have that much. I thought she was one of the easier bosses.
Yeah, she was still pretty easy despite that.
I thought she was the hardest.
Oh my god.
Or
Anyway.
at least her second form. I've spent time playing the later ones, not the original fights.
Oh.
So, Shouty, what was the special attack for Elise?
Interesting that you say that, because you can defeat her without invoking that attack. But when I first played the boss, I was confused as to what her phase attack would be. So I accidentally killed one of the twins first, and it turns out that their phase attack is resurrecting the other one, so you have to defeat them pretty much at the same time.
You have to get that double.
Yep.
Yeah.
I actually did that by accident on my first fight, and then ended up finishing it thinking, what the hell was the special attack of that boss?
Yeah, I wanted to see what the special attack was before I defeated it, though, so I was just screwing around.
Was it ever hard to get a tag on Elise?
I think because there were two of them, you had to defeat them at the same time. I think it was made too easy to get a tag on them, on each of them. Like, it was easy to get a tag on one of them in the first place, but since it was easy enough to get tag on one of them, getting tag on both of them was still pretty lenient. For me, at least.
Again, I thought that was one of the hardest bosses tag-wise, because for the other bosses, I held the attack button the entire time, just so that I was always doing shooting damage and also refreshing my tag. But with Elise, you can't do that unless you want to get into a state where you have to really carefully manage her health at the end. She's one where you want to get your tags and then shoot, or at least that's how I played. I only shot enough to get tags. You also have to balance tags, which is not something you have to do anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Or in other boss fights.
Yeah, that's what I found. Because I fought the bosses indiscriminately, I just attacked each other, one was there. Their health was uneven, so I couldn't just tag one, tag the other, not shoot out that third tag, that way I could do equal damage. But because I didn't do that, trying to take them out both at the same time, once they were at low health, was actually the more challenging part. That and Gunvolt's flash field made it so that I didn't even see those damn snakes coming out from Elise's personalities, and they would just walk right into me. It's like, what the hell hit me?
Well,
And
wait.
like,
the flash field kills those snakes.
Not when you're jumping and then you land right on them.
Oh.
Like, some of them managed to get through.
I don't think so. I think you're safe as long as you're flash fielding.
I think what Adrian is describing is that there would not be enough time for the flash field to damage the snake before he hit it.
Yeah.
I think they're one-hit kills, though.
No, those guys managed to hit me. It was either that or the kunais that was hitting me.
Well, the kunais definitely can't get through flash field. I don't think the snakes can either, but it's possible I'm wrong about the snakes.
One thing that made Elise much easier on my first playthrough was I was using this gun with 8 tags, so I could just go all out, do a 3 tag on both of them, and then I was guaranteed a balanced tag. But with any of the other guns, you have to make sure you don't tag one side too much, because then you can't balance to the other side.
Oh, yeah. So I guess you have to know what you're doing when you're going in.
So what theme held your boss together?
I guess balance would be the theme here.
How do you mean?
Like, it's a balancing act between trying to evenly distribute the damage between the two personalities of Elise.
Okay.
And I guess you also have to make sure you're checking on both sides of the room to make sure where different attacks are coming from.
So that balance is present not only in how you attack, but also in how you dodge their attacks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That makes sense. Attacks are coming from both sides.
Oh, by the way, I just finished fighting Elise just now, and I don't know what the hell I was talking about. Yeah, those snakes die in one hit, so I don't know if I was actually being hit or anything.
I think, while we're still talking about Elise, because so many of her attacks are blocked by flash field, she's one that you have to be careful about using your meter with, because the attacks are a little bit difficult to dodge if you don't have it, and you don't get a lot of... You need to plan in advance for when you're going to refresh it.
That's what I was probably fucking up on, because that time I would refresh, that was probably the time that the snakes would get me, and then that's when I'm like, oh crap, there are snakes in this fight, because, I was killing them before I even noticed I killed them. So that was probably what was going on my first fight with her. Yeah,
one of the, as I said, interesting things about the flash field is that it's an attack, movement, and defense mechanic. And I think that that's a boss that makes you pay attention to it most as a defense mechanic, or at least significantly that way.
That also means that if you miss tag, it's going to be very painful waiting for that tag to expire, because you need to flash to dodge kunai and snakes.
Yeah.
Well, you don't need to, but...
Yeah, but I mean, if you accidentally tag one more than the other, because you start off with at least 3 tags with the default gun, then you're going to start doing uneven damage like I was doing.
Yeah.
And it can give her more time to get a chance to kill you.
Yeah. Alright. Yourself? Do you have a boss in mind?
Yeah, I was gonna talk about Bugman or whatever.
Let's look up the character.
Stratos.
Oh.
Stratos, yeah.
Stratos? I thought his name was Swarm. Is Swarm the name of the level?
Maybe that's his code name.
Yeah, alright.
I know his sword is Lizard Slayer.
Why does his sword have a name?
Just because we can see that. I thought all the swords are identical. What the hell?
Doesn't mean they can't have names.
Alright, well, the thing I like about Stratos is that before his capture, he was a handsome, popular young man.
So,
Are you saying he's not anymore?
Well, today no trace of that man remains.
I think you're lying.
Apparently
so
handsome is a personality trait.
Given that there is no trace of a handsome man left, how did your boss's attack patterns change with each health bar that depleted?
So, well, he got one new attack after the first health bar goes down, which is this attack where he turns into 2 spinning discs that go on the left and right side of the screen and shoot bugs through the middle that you have to defend with your flash field. And then his attack where he charges across the screen, which is one of his basic attacks that he has throughout the fight. After you get through the first health bar, an extra swarm of bugs is added to that attack, moving in the opposite direction as him. So you have to dodge that with flash field then, which you didn't need to do before.
Yeah, I think that's one of the more interesting developments that are in the game for boss fights, because most of the time when boss attack patterns change up, it's not like a combination of 2 elements. It's more like they take the one attack and then put a spin on it. Whereas
it's like you're juggling 3 balls and they throw in a 4th.
Yeah, that's what I like about how they change up the charge attack, that I can still see the 2 elements as separate and then figure out how they overlap.
Yeah.
So what was the most difficult attack for your boss?
The super attack was probably the most difficult. I don't know. I don't think he had any particularly individually difficult attacks. They were all kind of reasonable to learn compared to some of the other bosses who have attacks that, as we discussed before, are almost impossible to figure out.
Yeah.
But the super attack is difficult because you don't just have to dodge, you also have to attack him to stop it from happening. And you can't just attack the boss himself. He has these 2 semi-spheres next to him, and you need to get some tags on that while you're being fired at by the boss, and then do enough damage to that while dodging to stop him from triggering the super attack.
Yeah. That took me a while or not a while, but it took me 2 attempts to figure out that the whole point of that attack is to not let it happen, because it is an instant kill that you cannot dodge.
Yeah, I like that there's that setup for it. And a lot of the super attacks have those multiple phases, but I think that one is good because you're not just standing there dodging one thing and then suddenly have to dodge another. You have to be active in preventing it from happening.
Yeah.
That's interesting that that attack sort of breaks an unspoken rule that it can't be dodged, it must be prevented. And Elise had that attack that broke another rule that, like, it's the only attack in the game that can stone you. So I wonder if each boss has an attack that breaks some rule or, introduces some kind of significant wrinkle in the boss design.
Yes. There is a way for the lazy laser to become impossible to avoid if you do not move in the right way. I've had that happen to me twice, where two of the lasers went off, they covered their side of the screen. I'm all the way back in the corner. I'm like, shit, there's no space for me to go, and then it hits me. I forgot his name. The green boss, I'm just gonna call him that, has that 5 light beam attack that just goes all over the damn place, and you pretty much just have to get behind him before he does that because you can't dodge that attack.
That's not dissimilar from Merak, though, where you have to get behind his wormholes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, but it's that attack. It's attack that you can't dodge, that you just have to like
Get the plan ahead of time.
Oh, the way you dodge it is
you preemptively dodge it.
Yeah, and a lot of times there are things that I don't know beforehand, so it's like, oh shit, it's one of those kind of attacks, and then I learn, and you kind of have to try. You're not going to know that ahead of time, obviously, but once you fall for it the first time, then you'll get it. And this Parasite dude is I think we all realized what was that sort of unspoken rule that he kind of went against, and same with Elise. The only two bosses left are Carrera and mine.
Slash Beast has a pretty crazy super attack. I don't know if anyone was going to talk about him.
That is, I believe that's Adrian's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that is that he has...
No,
I'll get to it.
No, that was the super attack for Stratos.
Swarm Man, Bug.
Was it ever hard to get a tag on Bugman?
So Bugman goes off the screen all the time, and that always clears your tag. Mm-hmm. So he's one of the ones where, as I said, the opposite of with Twin Cobra is that you want to be shooting the entire time, and you need to get your tags on him before he comes at you, which is usually not that difficult, but in the instance of the attack where he erupts from the ground and then dashes across the screen at you, it's not all that feasible to get tags on him if you're trying to dodge it.
I think you can't get tags on him during that phase.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure your shots just go through the claws or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Wait, which attack?
One where he burrows underground.
Oh,
and then, like, a catcher's mitt shoots up and swings across the screen.
Yeah, that was another one of those attacks that I had to kind of learn the hard way that, you can't jump over it, so you're supposed to do another one of those. Run all the way to one side of the screen, run all the way to the other, and then run away before those last two even come up, because again, you can't jump over them. So if they do come up on both sides, well, you're already fucked.
Well,
you can jump over it, though.
It's tight.
Either that's really tight, or I was pretty sure I couldn't jump over them.
You might need to use Flash Field to get the jumps, but they are tight. But the other thing he does with tagging is he has an attack where he shoots out 2 eggs or something, and like the case with the super move where you have to preemptively destroy one of the spinning discs, with the eggs, if you destroy one of them, that makes it significantly easier to dodge instead of just leaving your tag on him and getting damage.
So at the end of the day, what theme would you say held your boss together?
I didn't feel like he had a super clear theme to him. I'm not sure. I thought he was a relatively well-balanced boss.
Well, we know he's got stuff to do with bugs, and then his little catcher mitt armor plates that he uses to chomp on you.
He does a lot of stuff that you have to quickly jump over, but that's not a theme.
I mean, I know that defense is fundamental in other bosses, but I think here there's nothing. There are points where there's nothing else to do but defend.
But there's only one attack like that.
Mm-hmm. I also believe other bosses have attacks like that.
Oh.
Yeah, it might be difficult to pinpoint a theme here. All right. Adrian, at long last we have come to you. Do you have a boss in mind?
Yes, it's Viper.
How did your boss's attack patterns change with each health bar?
Okay, on his first health bar, He's pretty simple. He only has 2 attacks. One is this little slide kick, which is really fast. In fact, you pretty much have to jump over at a time because it's a really fast attack. The other one is where he shoots these 3 fireballs that you can either flash field or just shoot them with your regular gun to destroy them, but then they leave a sort of explosion that you can't touch. So he will alternate between those 2 attacks. He doesn't have to use them in order. He can and sometimes will slide kick twice in a row. But that's the first phase. The second phase is where he gets a lot crazier, and that's when he starts jumping on the walls, which another thing that makes this boss unique is that there are 2 fire pillars covering the edges of the screen the whole time. So you can't even touch the edges, the borders. And it's one of the more complicated moves because he has so many ways of mixing you up, where he will do his little dive kick up to the wall, jump off and either shoot down at you. From there, he can either jump off the screen and do his little axe kick, which I think is dependent on where you are at the time.
So what is an axe kick?
Oh, kick that's like an axe. I like chopping an axe. It's where you use the heel of your foot to kick someone instead of, thrusting outward.
Okay.
It's like the opposite of Guile's upward special. If you played that in reverse, then that's an axe kick.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so he can do that, and when he does that, it also leaves a little explosion, which you have to avoid. So even just being away from that, you also have to dodge the fireballs that come out of it. And the third thing he can do while jumping around the walls is just do a little kick in the air that shoots 3 fireballs, which spread. And then he can also sometimes just decide, I don't want to be in the walls anymore, and they just dive kick right down at you. So that's like 4 different things he can do when he's up there. It's a real battle of space. Because, when he's up there, and if you don't tag him before he gets up there, then you're going to find it being a real pain to get one on him. Because of how much he moves around and how those little fireballs he shoots that your flash field will block and just stay there for a while. That kind of keep you from wanting to jump. But otherwise, when he's on the ground, it's easy to keep a flash field on him, or to tag him and then flash him.
Is there any way to predict what he's going to choose for an attack?
It is very subtle. Like with the axe kick, he jumps off the screen. And I think you can manipulate that by being close to him. If he's on the right wall and you're close to the right side of the screen and he jumps, and he's about to jump, then he will probably do the axe kick. It's not in a fixed position though, it's relative to you. I've seen it where he's done it dead center in the screen, and others where he's done it far to the right. When he decides he doesn't want to be in the wall anymore and just dive kick straight at you, he's a little lower on the wall than if he was to wall jump in the air. So the height at which he wall jumps is another indicator, or the height which he clings to the wall. The spread shot fire kick though, I have no idea when he does that, because he can do that whenever he wants. But he's in the air, and it's a somewhat moderate moving projectile that you can avoid, so it's not too bad. And sometimes when he does that, he stops wall jumping altogether. So yeah, watch out for when he does the slide kick, because he will still do that. He still has his attacks from the first phase, so he has a lot of things he can do just on this second bar.
Correct me if I'm wrong. In general, he'll do the slide kick if you are within half a screen space of him, and after his first slide kick, after the first health bar, then he will go into jumping back and forth between the walls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was the special attack for that man? Viper.
The game calls it Resurgence, but I can clearly hear him yelling Sunshine Nova. And that's when his tail-like compartment that he has turns into centaur legs. First he dashes inside the fire pillars. He does that twice. Then he goes into the middle of the screen, and then he does his somewhat unspoken rule, and that is he goes bullet hell on you. The first phase of this bullet hell is probably the hardest one to avoid, because if you are anywhere other than directly underneath him, and even then I don't even know if you can dodge him directly underneath, because it's really tight, yeah, he'll hit you. The second one's a bit more avoidable because he does it in these concentrated sprays. First a three-way, and then a V, and then a V. So you just move back and forth between being under him and then being like slightly diagonal from him so that the sprays don't get you. And you keep moving because he does move left and right while doing this. So it's a pretty tight dance you gotta do there.
I'll admit, I have not figured out the spacing on that first phase there. I usually just astrosphere through it.
Yeah, I haven't either. I'm assuming that being directly underneath him is the way to do it because, you know, as Gunvolt himself is the big rectangle, so obviously you're not going to do it if you're anywhere other than directly underneath him.
That's where you're going to get those slender rectangles of open space.
Yeah.
I can do it, and yeah, it is sort of towards the middle. You gotta move a little bit left and right, though.
Yeah, because of the way he shoots those bullets. It's not like he shoots it down and only down. It like alternate. It like wiggles back and forth a little those open spaces. So
Yeah, because
that's how you do it.
Spiral rose petal.
So Adrian, when it all comes together, what theme held Viper together?
Well, he's mainly a melee-based boss and likes to use a lot of fire and explosives. He's also a boss that is really just has a lot of mix-ups that makes him distinct from all the other bosses. He's kind of like the Magma Dragoon of this game.
He escaped in the volcano to avoid the irregular hunters or something.
Yeah.
Also, while we're on stupid things, did anyone notice the thing on Viper's head is the same thing as the thing in Zonda's crotch?
It looks similar. I guess he's a real dickhead.
I guess it's hard piecing a theme together from that.
But his special attack involves a lot of aiming. I mean, a lot of positioning to avoid his attacks.
Yeah, a lot of very careful.
It's a lot of Danmaku.
Other than the special attack, I would say, whether it's a theme or not, he's the fastest boss, or the one that you have to react to most quickly.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think both his body and his bullets move pretty quickly, and you can dodge with large sweeping movements. But then his special attack is very precise, and you want to move very gingerly.
I mean, it actually makes for a decent contrast after having to jump all over the screen for the entire fight. What do you do to balance it out?
But you can't jump all over the place because there's still the fire borders.
Yeah, but I feel like you have a lot more room to move in that battle than you do in other ones because he's small and his attacks tend to cover small areas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what keeps him... I don't know, did anyone have a hard time with this boss?
I think I had a hard time with any of the bosses.
Other than his super, I would have said he was the easiest.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say that's what keeps him from being the most difficult of the bosses, even though he has a lot of mix-ups and a lot of moves that he can do at any time.
Okay. Any final thoughts before the next segment?
Notice this versus X Games, your wall jump is pretty much never a part of any of these fights.
Yeah, I actually almost never use my wall jump in the entire game.
Yeah, it's a very minimal part. You need it for...
You don't slide along the wall. You don't slide along walls like you do in X Games.
Yeah, that makes it a lot harder to use.
Yeah. What I mean is, like, they're not involved in the bosses, like, whatsoever.
I'm not sure how many of the bosses actually have walls in the fights. Do
That's
any
what
of
I mean.
them?
Nope. And the only one that has walls is the one that's made of fire. Yeah. So wall
Can't
jumping
jump on fire.
isn't part of these bosses at all, unlike the X Games.
The X Games. I'm sorry, I was just thinking about snowboarding.
Yeah, I know. I was hearing that from the first time you said it.
Merrick? I've got yet another question about a shooter that changed names when it changed regions. Gunhead was an early classic for the PC Engine. What was it called when it was released in the US? Ooh, I'm sorry. The answer is Blazing Lasers.
Are you saying Mighty Gunvolt is not that good?
Mighty Gunvolt's okay. I mean, I can play it. It's not bad, but certainly,
I didn't hear very good things about it.
It's hard for me to go in expecting it to play like a Mega Man game, because it does play a little differently from a Mega Man game, but it also makes you think it's gonna play like a Mega Man game.
I guess part of what throws me off is that the ways it plays differently, like the charge Y moves, I have a real hard time grasping, and I find it just easier to play with a straight buster attack. So, Wario fan, any final words?
I don't know if this game plays more like Mega Man X or Mega Man Zero, but, it's pretty rad.
I would argue that it is distinct, and that the flash field is a refreshing mechanic that brings it away from any worthwhile accusation of similarity to previous games.
Yeah, I don't really get that. I get it's made by the people who made Mega Man Zero games, but it's not that similar. Like, for the most part, wall jumping challenges aren't nearly to the same extent. It's like just because you have a wall kick and a dash, it's not necessarily Mega Man Zero.
Yeah, it's the flash field takes over the game to such a great extent and factors into things other than combat.
Yeah.
Well enough.
Please, Blue Robot with a pea shooter. This is literally Mega Man.
What was that?
A blue robot with a pea shooter.
Oh, a blue robot. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he is the Azure Striker. Yourself, any final words?
No, can I say the thing about androgyny I said before, or are you going to cut that out?
I'm probably going to cut that out.
Well, I want to hear what he's going to...
It's
go ahead and say it.
Everything in the game is so androgynous. I thought Azure Striker Jeff, or whatever his name is, was a girl before I bought the game. And then he wasn't. But
you'd think he was a girl if you were playing the Japanese version where he bears his midriff.
Yeah, well then I can't tell whether any of the other characters are male or female, like the boss of Quill, whatever his name is. And then they went and straight up had like an androgynous character. So I thought they were making fun of me.
Well, it's actually he's bigender.
How do you pronounce that, by the way?
Zonda?
Zonda?
No, he uses a pronoun like XE.
Oh, they do? I didn't...
Transgender pronoun. Either way, the character is a, offensive stereotype, and it's one of those things that you're not supposed to do in games, because you're enforcing negative cultural perceptions.
It's kind of...
Yeah.
It's double-edged, because at least, there is a transgender person in a, AAA downloadable, but then again, you're also saying that this is how they express their sexuality.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing,
they're sexual deviants.
That's like saying, it's good that there are women in Final Fight, because you can beat them up.
I mean, yes, it is offensive, but also now someone can have a transgendered character that corrects what Gunvolt did wrong.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for the next Into Creates game to handle that.
But the localization, I have to wonder what they were going for here. I had to see what the original translations are.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I was thinking that obviously it's a different subject in Japanese culture than it is here, or at least a different discourse. So
I think they're still polite about it. They use proper pronouns.
Yeah.
Shouty, any final words?
I'm sorry for any comments I may have made about transgendered people.
Colton's gonna cut it out anyway. It doesn't matter. He gets so scared when I say things like that.
Is there a difference between transgender and bigender?
Okay, see that you have to cut out. Now it's getting offensive.
Well, I don't think it's offensive to bear your naivety and say, I want to learn about this topic.
I don't know what bigender means. I've never heard that term, but I'm sure that...
Well, that's what they said in the game.
That's an offensive term in itself.
Is it? I don't know why.
I don't think any of us know, but I'm not going to trust the Gunvolt localization to use the correct terms.
So, Adrian, do you have any final words that I will not cut out?
No. Because all I can say, and you're going to cut this out anyways, is that I didn't know that was a stereotype.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Because the thing is, maybe it's that I haven't seen many games or things, but normally I don't see them, or this is the first time I've ever heard the idea that all transgender, bigender, whichever term works, are sexual deviants. I've never heard that ever.
Well,
and even then, it's one of those things. It's like black people can't swim. It's like I never heard that before, and when I did, I thought it was the stupidest shit ever.
Yeah, that's how they're typically presented in our media, though, as people defined by sexuality and who are sexually deviant or aggressive, or put hetero or cis people in an uncomfortable situation.
It's just that transgender people come out of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
It's the stereotype.
Yeah.
Well, I'm unaware of this stereotype, so it's not impacting my worldview. But at the same time, it also means I don't find it offensive. I don't know. It's like you have to know something is a stereotype in order to be bothered by it.
Well, that's a very densely packed conversation in and of itself.
Yeah, that is. So that's just my comment. That's just my perspective on this. I don't know. Are people making a fuss about it, or is just nobody care?
I can't imagine anyone cares about an Indie Creates game, but no, I just picked up on it and mentioned it to the whole.
The hardcore Mega Man crowd and the social justice crowd are so entirely different.
Honestly, and the other thing is people haven't gotten on transgender rights as big as feminism in games just yet.
Gamergate 2.
Yeah,
what the fuck are you talking about? I completely lost in this conversation.
I don't think this is a discussion that we should be having.
Why aren't we allowed to have a conversation?
Alright, when Shouty calls it, he calls it. Thank you for joining me.
Oh, maybe
All music in this podcast is from Azure Striker Gunvolt, and the boss voice clips were taken from the game as well. I'll leave you with this final thought. When you compare the bosses, how much do they overlap, and how much do they diverge? We discussed the theme of each boss, but is there a theme that runs through all of the bosses collectively? If you have any comments or questions, please email vgcommune@gmail.com.
Although, I gotta be honest, I did not realize what the tagging system was until I played this level. I played the entire intro just thinking I was supposed to just shoot these guys gradually.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I didn't figure it out till towards the end of the intro stage either.
It wasn't completely obvious to me that you don't use your little pea shooter, you're just supposed to lock on and then just zap them.
Yeah, tag and flash.
It's a little bit weird that the tag gun does damage. Or a little bit misleading to a new player, at least.
Yeah, both the tag and the flash field do damage, but they do very little versus using tag and flash.
While we're on confessions, I did not understand until the second stage that I played, that when you tag something, you can damage it from anywhere on the screen. I thought it had to be within that bubble.
Oh.
So that made the giant guy on wheels at the end of the first stage kind of impossible. The radius is not big enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
What if you just shot at him?
Well, what I ended up doing was shooting at him, and then once I got frustrated with that, like, standing inside of him and taking damage, and it was a damage race.
Oh.
Yet, we all somehow learned how to play the game without an 8-hour tutorial to explain it all to us.
Is that supposed to be a jab at Monster Hunter?
It's a jab at video games.
Wow.
To be fair, I did not understand all of the nuances of the game until I beat the true final boss. So I kind of did need that 8-hour tutorial.
You're not exactly what I consider an excellent player either.
I would not have known if I had not looked at the how to play stuff in Gunvolt's apartment.
Yeah, I was about to say, it feels weird because I'm the only person that did not have a hard time at all learning to tag and flash. In fact, Gunvolt even straight up says that once you reach the elevator. It was just so much more not obvious, but easy for me to just figure out, or maybe it's because I'm just the kind of person that likes to try out everything. And if you give me a manual, I will look into it. Like, that's how I knew about the jewels in the first place, because if you go all the way to the bottom, it says jewels, like, oh, there's something really secret about them, and that's how I knew about them.
See, when he did that with the elevator, I thought he just meant, like, switches. I thought it was going to be a common thing to find switches. So, Nope.
I just didn't read any of the text in the game on my first playthrough.
Oh, jeez. I thought it was really cool font.
Okay, the font is really nice.
I actually thought it wasn't at the right resolution, though.
You are on an Excel.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
let's talk about the font some more.
What about the boss dialogue? What's your favorite line of dialogue for each boss?
I think it's actually in reaction to one of the bosses that Gunvolt has that I think is the best line of dialogue. To Carrera, where he's like, I'm sorry, did you just break out a thou?
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, that's one of those things where I don't know what the hell this game is.
I wanted to break my arm.
Yeah.
I don't get it either. Like, maybe...
I think the
that's the only
report.
way. I think that was probably the only way they could localize that, because he's probably saying something in Japanese that we have no
probably
way of...
speaking in an old samurai style. He probably calls, like, Gunvolt Dono or something.
And that's probably is. And the closest thing we have is
fixes him
Old
with that
English.
honorific.